the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. It's round 13 of the AMA Supercross Series. Hello, everyone. I'm Art Ekman along with Dave Despain. Tonight, Jeremy McGrath can nail down his second consecutive Supercross championship. All he has to do is finish in front of Mike Kudrowski and Mike LaRocco. There are several veterans that will not be in the lineup against him tonight because of injuries suffered at Hangtown. And by the way, what happened to the eye?
You had to ask. I launched off the triple, cased the landing, went over the handlebars, did a major face plant.
Right.
You want the truth. Actually, the doctor says it's an allergy. No big deal.
Michael Craig won't be starting today because of injuries. Jeff Matasevich, but probably the most serious, Jeff Stanton.
Truly a Supercross legend, a three-time champion, one of the greatest careers in the history of this game. Here is a man who sees it all unraveling over the last couple of years, in part because of injury. He hurt his back badly enough at Hangtown that he will not race tonight.
And there's one individual that had his eyes on him the entire way at Hangtown, his mechanic.
Well, I spoke with him yesterday, first of all, and he's a lot better shape than he was. The last time I spoke before that was Monday. In a lot of pain. He was just lying in bed pretty much all week. He said the doctor told him that's what he needed to do, and I know for him that's hard to do. I mean, looking back on the wreck, I can't believe he's walking. I mean, I can't believe he got up as quick as he did. Because from my point of view, it lasted a long time, and I know from his point of view it must have lasted even longer. You know, he landed right on the back. The bike fell on top of him, just compounded everything. So. But right now, I mean, he's looking at 3 weeks. He says he'll be back by Budds Creek. The doctor, you know, has assured him or given him a lot of hope that by Budds Creek we'll be rolling again.
It's good to hear, Dave, that Jeff hopes to be back by Budds Creek. There's one individual who did not run in Hangtown, Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah, and I think that may be the big story tonight in terms of injury. How badly did he really hurt his knee? And having seen how fragile that championship can be, how easy it would be for it to slip away if he's hurt, my question is, how hard will he be willing to go for it tonight?
We'll take a look at the qualifying heats plus the track here at the Seattle Kingdome when we return. The Seattle Kingdome track, very much like the tracks we've seen in the last 3 or 4 weeks, Dave, but it does have some other problems involved.
Well, we understand that the rocks have been coming up out of the soil and making it gnarly, I guess is the appropriate word. The big wide starting area takes up a lot of space, so all those whoop-de-doos are kind of jammed into one half the racetrack.
With the 125 East title settled, champion Ezra Lusk and runner-up Jimmy Button, both on 250s in this qualifying heat. Ezra Lusk, his title in the 125s just now sinking in.
Yeah, it feels great. You know, it was a long season, and it got kind of close there towards the end. I was trying to be conservative, and I crashed, and it feels good right now. You know, I got the #1 play, but I'm not going to be able to run it next year, so that's the only bad thing about it. But it feels really good. All my friends back home really like it, and they just think it's all cool. So I'm having a lot of fun right now, and hopefully in that 250 class I can go ahead and make some pretty good bucks there and pretty good finishes. So, you know, hopefully I can do good there and be better for next year.
Not only the youngsters Ezra Lusk and Jimmy Button in this particular qualifying heat where the top 4 go directly to the main, but also several veterans. And we've seen the veterans now break out on top as Ezra Lusk gets the whole shot. But right next to him was Steve Lampson. Swink and Ferry get into it in our highlights.
A little bit of a problem there for Brian Swink, compounding the problem he already has. He hurt his knee at Hangtown, and so he's struggling a little bit this weekend.
Lampson takes the lead in the first lap, #4 out in front of Mike Kudrowski, #3. Back in the pack a little further, Mike LaRocco, #7, another seasoned veteran.
Lusk got a good start. He's third. This is a great opportunity to run with 2 of the best in the business in the 250 class. So for #17, Ezra Lusk, good chance here, but look right there, Kyle Lewis gets by him.
Kyle Lewis has done an impressive job on the national scene in the outdoors and is trying to put it over to the Supercross track here in the qualifying meet. Looking very strong.
We got a glimpse of #7, Mike LaRocco there. Off to his typical bad start. He has Lusk and the rest to deal with, but I agree with you, Art. I think Kyle Lewis really has the potential to go somewhere here if he can keep putting together consistent rides.
The interesting comparison here, can the rookie hold off the veteran Mike LaRocco? But he's got Lewis out in front that he wants to challenge first.
LaRocco got that last set of set of whoop-de-doos all wrong, lost a whole lot of ground. Now watch how strongly he comes back and attacks Ezra.
LaRocco easily on the inside.
Well, maybe he just gave up that previous set of whoops to get himself into position to make that pass. That's the way it works a lot of times.
Lamson and Kudrowski. Kudrowski to the inside to take the lead here in the first 250 qualifying heat.
But not quite a block pass. No contact. Didn't get clear up alongside, but still did what he had to do.
The next battle in the first qualifying heat, and LaRocco went flying as he tried to pursue Kyle Lewis.
He had a notion to try Kyle on the outside. He's got the handlebars all bent up there. He'll be definitely bound for the semifinal. There's no way he'll limp that thing home in a transfer position. You can see all the guys going behind him. He's got a little bit of outward momentum. Centrifugal force is going to carry that bike to the outside. When he launched, the thing just took off, and he landed very hard. He's lucky he's not hurt.
You saw in the replay that landing. He looked like he might have hurt his arm. And the battle behind the leaders now, Ezra Lusk and Jimmy Button. It provided a lot of excitement with these youngsters going to the 250 ranks. Lusk holding off Button right now, but Lusk has some problems in the whoops.
Well, a lot of people feel that on paper, at least, Jimmy Button, number 34, could be the better of the 250 riders simply because of his size. He's been hampered on the 125. Ezra's a little guy and shouldn't have that problem.
Mechanical problems put Kyle Lewis out of the qualifying heat.
What a bad break. I mean, you're riding that well, to have the bike fail and leave you walking is very, very frustrating.
It was said that a rock got stuck in the machinery, and that's what forced the breakdown as Mike Kudrowski takes the first qualifying heat.
Lamson with a solid second. He's got heavy responsibilities here tonight, carrying the load for Jeff Stanton, who's on the sideline.
And it was Jimmy Button and Ezra Lusk rounding out the top four. Our Jerry Bernardo talked with the winner, Mike Kudrowski.
For the first replica lid out there, you were right behind Lammy for a while and then nabbed him in front of me. How was it?
Well, I think it was my new Bell replica. You know, it's really great, looks cool, and man, best helmet I've had so far. But yeah, I just got a good start and then passed Lammy, a little bit aggressive in the turn, and rode my own race. Man, I feel great for the main.
You were looking strong. He wasn't right behind you. After you got by him, you pulled on him.
Yeah, once I got by him, I had some of my own lines and just used those, and I could use them a little bit better than when he was in front of me. And just pulled out a comfortable ride, and I wasn't pushing it at all.
There's not just a title on the line tonight for Jeremy McGrath, but if he wins his last three, he breaks his own season win record. Jerry Bernardo talked with him earlier.
Okay, Alex Trebek from Jeopardy told me that if you win the next three races, you break your record again of what, 10 or something?
Yeah, it's a 10-race record last season, and if I can win the next three, I guess I'll have 11.
I know you from this year. I think you just want to win. You're not really thinking about the record, are you? I mean, you'd like to break it, but you just want to win, don't you?
Yeah, now that you know me, we've hung out a little bit.
Don't let me put the words in your mouth.
I'm not thinking about the record, but I definitely, it definitely would be nice.
Yeah. How about this week? You haven't been really able to train. You had that wicked crash there in Dallas. I think I said A, drilled, B, planted, C, tweaked, all of the above, flying through the air, implanted into the ground, and you blasted your knee. You were on crutches. There's not much training involved with that activity.
No, actually, I had to take 7 days off. I was on crutches all the way till Tuesday and just started riding this past Monday. So, I took 7 days off, gives me the will and the want to win again.
And not winning the last race is the will to win, right?
Yeah, that really pisses me off.
Well, that's what we need, a little spark for the kid. So going into this, you feel good? We're here in Seattle. Lovely.
Yeah, I'm healthy. Seattle's been really good to me, and, hopefully I can do it tonight.
Getting ready for the second qualifying heat now, Jeremy McGrath, as he's got a mission to accomplish here this evening, along with other veterans in the mix here in this qualifying heat. Jeff Emig, Doug Henry, his own teammate. Also, we've got Larry Ward and a couple of veterans, Eric Kehoe, along with Todd the Hoop, who might get their 2 cents worth here in heat number 2. Our highlights begin. Emig and Ward out in front, but look what happens to Todd the Hoop as he goes flying over the hay bale after touching with the Dubach. Also, we've got Kehoe in the mix there.
Classic first turn tangle. Too many bikes, not enough room. Those guys paid the price. And Ward and Emig get out front to do battle on the Yamahas.
Whoops already proving difficult for many of the riders here in Seattle, as Larry Ward trailing Jeff Emig. There's number 8, Doug Henry, getting into the fray, and Jeremy McGrath is currently in 4th at the beginning of this heat.
A nice rhythm there for Doug Henry. He just sailing across those whoops. Landings were all perfect, making good time.
Larry Ward looking over to Jeremy McGrath as McGrath puts the throttle down to move into 3rd.
Jeremy is just remarkably smooth and appears to be 100% healthy, although the start wasn't anything spectacular. Look at the move here on Doug Henry. He just knows if he goes inside, he's going to leave Henry out to dry. He just knows if he stays inside, he'll get around Emig as well. He's just a terrific rider.
The whoop section divided many of the riders here in the qualifying rounds, and Jeremy McGrath getting over them quicker. Not the prettiest in the world, but he made it in front of Emig as Henry then took on Emig.
Early in the season, Emig seemed to have so much fire, so much desire and drive, but it ended up exploding into a couple of on-track altercations. Since then, he seems to have calmed down, but now he can't hold on to the position.
Here was the real surprise of the second qualifying heat. Doug Henry, McGrath's teammate, takes him on the last turn for fast qualifying honors.
I think 35,000 jaws all dropped at the same time, including Jeremy's. He was surprised by that move.
These four headed to the main event as Jerry Bernardo then caught up with the happy Doug Henry.
Okay, obviously you're feeling pretty good. No hesitation there in making the move on him.
No, he kind of hesitated in the whoops there, and it gave me enough time to just kind of pull up alongside of him. I had the inside on him, and all they had to do was take the inside turn, and I had him.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel pretty good. You know, Jeremy's riding really good, and, you know, I just want to go out there and do my best, too.
One of the questions coming out of the qualifying heat, would the bike be ready, and would Mike LaRocco be physically ready? Those questions answered right here as Mike LaRocco gets set for the semifinal round coming up next from Seattle. Welcome back to the Seattle Kingdome. Art Ekman along with Dave Despain as we get ready now for the highlights from the semifinal round number 1, of which 5 riders will go to the main event. The rest have to take the last chance qualifier route if they hope to make the field. Mike LaRocco is the big favorite here, coming off the accident in the qualifying heat.
He would rather not be here, but you're right, he's absolutely the favorite. The problem now is getting the best starting position for the main event. You got to win this semi to have any shot at a good start for the main.
Brooks on the inside. LaRocco comes from the outside. And it was Brooks actually getting the whole shot here in the semifinal round. Brooks number 31, LaRocco 7, 27 is Stevenson, 18 factory Phil Lawrence. We haven't seen him in a long time.
Phil's been hurt, finally getting healed up and ready to race again. Looking pretty good here tonight. Here's the move with which LaRocco took the lead. Didn't take long, did it?
No, it sure didn't. Mike looked very smooth throughout, despite that hard crash, biting the dirt earlier. Behind him, Brooks, Stevenson, Lawrence, and 53 Kyle Lewis. Stevenson and Brooks had a good battle going.
This ended up being a great race, actually, all the way back from second on through fifth, all the way to the wire without LaRocco in there mixing it up. These guys had a pretty good battle. You always, I think, have to admire the starts that the likes of Brooks and the rest of the Yamaha guys getting in. The trick is hanging on. For number 53, Kyle Lewis, it's a march to the front.
Number 18, you could tell in the whoop section, was having trouble with his conditioning and his timing, not racing a lot this year. In fact, this is only his 3rd event of the season because of injuries to his legs and knees.
Look at Lewis. Just take the position. You see what the guy ahead of you is doing. You figure out a place where you can go that he's not. Find a different line, find a way to force the issue and get around. He's moved up 2 positions in less than a lap.
Stevenson looked strong in this qualifying round as Kyle Lewis took the slip and went down. Got nipped on the way by.
Unusual place to crash. He just spun her out trying to get hooked up coming off the exit of the corner and dropped him on the ground, cost him a good finish.
Mike LaRocco simply a runaway, Dave, for this semifinal round, and I think it's the semifinals that show the lack of depth because of all the injuries the 250 riders have suffered from the Hangtown experience.
Well, it's been a brutal couple of weeks, and a lot of guys are on the mend. A lot of guys concerned about accumulating points for that stretch run into the championship. A guy like Matasevich needs to be here racing and getting points tonight.
Brian Swink and Kyle Lewis did not make it. They have to go to the last chance qualifier.
Hey, Mike, we came over to you over in the pits after that nasty fall. Didn't want to bug you. We're a little muddied. I think the term is bruised ego. You feel better now, don't you?
Yeah, I wasn't riding like I should have been, I guess, early in the race, and I made a dumb error and ran into Kyle Lewis off that jump and looped it out. So I'm not real happy right now. I'm just glad to get this over with and look forward to the main.
So you didn't, when you crashed, you didn't get hurt or nothing? You just went down in the mud?
No, I think it just hurt my pride. And
how about this one just now?
It was
a cake.
Yeah, it was just aggravating.
So.
All right, I'll let you go.
All right.
The injury situation really highlighted here in the second semifinal heat. No real big names as Jimmy Gaddis takes the whole shot, but it spells opportunity to several riders.
Unfortunately, not for David Rhodes, who had his second first turn tangle. He's from Renton, Washington, just up the road. Disappointment there.
Gaddis taking a 125 West title 2 seasons ago. It's been in a lot of arena crosses and has shown very good in 250 at times, especially in the qualifying rounds. Doug Dubach, you see, number 32, along with number 41, Jeff DeMint, battling it out with a chance to make it in the main.
DeMint, one of those guys who came up about Ezra Lust's time with Suzuki backing. A lot of people thought that he might be a national champion of the future, but he's still learning his lessons, paying his dues.
Kehoe and DeHoop also back there, 26 and 15.
Of course, they're trying to make up for the crash in the heat race that dumped them into the semifinal, and they end up racing each other again for the transfer spot.
DeHoop in the 5th spot has some problems coming off the finish line jump, but holds on to number 5 as Jimmy Gaddis out in front is not pressured at all.
Jimmy seems to have put the injuries behind him and is 100% healthy. It's taken him a long time to get to that point, and now he's running very well.
The man number 41 taking second, and Doug Dubach, who will be in his 6th main event this year in a selected schedule, took a third with Kehoe and DeHoop getting into the main event. Jimmy Gaddis coming back off of injuries. Jerry Bernardo talked with him about it.
So, Jimmy, you're looking pretty styling out there, coming back after a little, problems earlier in the year.
Yeah, I got hurt a few times, but I'm trying to get back there. I'm going to ride the last 3 Supercrosses, and I hope I can do good.
How are you feeling on that run just now?
I was feeling pretty good, actually. I was trying to get the whoops down a little better, and I just like to thank the good Lord Jesus Christ for keeping me safe and everybody for watching.
It's not often we see highlights from the last chance qualifying round unless an accomplished rider like Brian Swink has to make one of the 2 top positions to make the main event. Swink wins the last chance qualifier. The surprise was Chamberlain beating Kyle Lewis for the runner-up spot. So Chamberlain makes the main. We'll be back with the 125 main event after this. Welcome back to the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington. Art Ekman and Dave Despain as we get set for the 125 main. The superstars of the future of Supercross now trying to make their mark. We've got several riders there that would love to put the test to Damon Huffman. Huffman could nail down the championship if the cards fall in exactly the right order. But right now, you've got number 22, Ryan Hughes, and Craig Decker, number 141. Definite contenders here. Hughes on the right, then a rider, and then Damon Huffman. Huffman does not get a very good start. Decker, 141, gets the whole shot.
Who had a bad start for Lowell Morrill from Chico, California. He's on the ground in the first turn. Everybody else got through clean.
141 Decker in front with 22 Ryan Hughes in second place. Number 175 in third is Ray Crum from Bakersfield, California on the no-lean Yamaha. Decker out in front, though, but where's Damon Huffman? He's back in about 9th.
Yeah, 9th or 10th by my count as they work the first turn, and that's critical in terms of his being able to win a 3rd race of the year. It is less critical in terms of points. He can afford to sit back, take his time. He's got a healthy lead over Hughes and also Craig Decker.
He does have a great sense, though, of timing and speed, and has put on some tremendous charges from the back of the pack in this season.
He knows how to pass people, that's a fact, but the key now is going to be to not get tangled up with somebody and not end up on the ground. This is the race, right?
Ryan Hughes giving Decker a good challenge. Hughes, of course, going through the loss of his father this season, got the win in San Diego, a 3rd place right after that. He would like to get up on that win chart again.
He's 1-2. He and Decker know a lot about each other. They both come up through the Southern California ranks together. Each knows the other's weaknesses, and Decker doesn't appear to have any right now.
Huffman gets by Pedro Gonzalez in the back of the pack on a fine move, and he is on the charge right now. Number 20, Damon Huffman, 10 seconds behind the leaders.
Does the term aggressive come to mind? That was a terrific and somewhat frightening pass. You can get yourself in trouble that way.
Decker and Hughes still out in front. That's the race for the lead as number 20, Damon Huffman, weeds his way through the pack. That's 86, Pedro Gonzalez right behind him, and they're on the pursuit right now of 175, Ray Crum.
Crum's going to have a hard time holding off Huffman, I think. When you get this kind of momentum and this kind of rhythm, you can do anything. You can pass anywhere. Well, except right there. See, he comes back around the outside. He just won't let up. Crum had position on him. Huffman figured, I'm a little faster. I can get by on the outside. Good pass.
This is Crum's first main event in 125s this year. Decker out in front, number 141. He's been on the podium one time so far this year. We'll be back to the 125 in Seattle in a moment.
All year, Team Suzuki has dominated the AMA 125cc Supercross Series, winning both championships and bringing East and West together under one awesome bike. The Suzuki RM. United we rule. For championship RMs and support programs, see.
Back in the Kingdom for the 125 main event. Decker is in the lead. He makes a little mistake there. Hughes can't take advantage of it, though.
If you're going to make a mistake, make it right in front of the guy so he has to run into the back of you instead of driving around you. That was very lucky for Decker.
Well, Decker's done a good job in holding the lead and being able to keep the speed up and not make a mistake, because Ryan Hughes has really put the heat on him.
Well, Hughes is hoping to force the issue, force the error, but when the error came, again, Hughes wasn't able to capitalize on it. See through that whoop section? This kid's got a lot of speed. I think Decker's going to be tough for Hughes to handle.
Decker looking like a superstar of the future, really, in the times that he's done well. Hughes has been up and down with his performances.
Well, you're exactly right. Hughes has won 2 races. Decker has been very, very consistent. He's top 3 in the point standings, even though his podium finishes have been few and far between. Consistency is the key. And I've always been of the opinion that if you've got the consistency, the wins will take care of themselves. If you're there every week with the opportunity to win, then you're going to, the victories will come.
Decker in Anaheim, his best finish of the year, a 3rd place finish, was in 3rd 12 of the 15 laps and was very consistent. Decker, then Ryan Hughes, and look back, we've got number 20, Damon Huffman, on the charge, but he's quite a few seconds behind.
Well, watch out. Hughes is going to try the triple. Will he make the pass?
Yeah. Yes, he gets the double. Boxes him out a bit. Decker, though, not willing to give up, so Hughes is going to have to put on the accelerator.
Yeah, when you got that kind of momentum off the big jump, there's no way the other guy's going to be able to hold the position. Great move for Ryan Hughes.
He is our new leader here on the 125 main from Seattle's Kingdom, as Decker is going to stay right behind him just in case Ryan should make a mistake.
I don't think so. I think Hughes has been biding his time, waiting for the opportunity, probably knew how far back the competition Damon Huffman was, and so here's Damon. He's 3rd, but he's about 6 seconds behind, so Hughes was comfortable to wait for a clean opportunity.
Damon has not eased up. He has not had any riders to go through to get to the leaders, and you see here, he's picked up at least 2 seconds.
He's reeling them in. He's so fast through the whoop-de-doos. Even when he makes a bobble like he made right there, he still carries terrific speed across the top of those whoops. See, he's doing the triple every time.
The fastest bike on the track you're looking at right now, Damon Huffman. He ran in the 250s when the 125 West Division was not in session, and he's trying to catch up now with Decker and Hughes. Just as anxious for his 2nd win of the year is Ryan's mechanic, Chad Watts, and our Jerry Bernardo is down in the mechanics area right now.
Okay, Chad, if anybody knows Ryan Hughes, it's you. What do you think's going through his head out in the lead now with Decker hot on his butt?
Well, he's just trying to make no mistakes, stay fluent. As long as he doesn't make a mistake and ride smart, he should be all right.
I see on the pit board you got Damon Huffman coming up. Now he knows.
Yeah, he knows that he's coming, so he better wick it up a little bit.
All right, good luck.
So Hughes not only concerned with Decker in 2nd place, but he's being informed about Huffman's charge.
Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that Hughes can do about Huffman in terms of the championship. The best he can hope for tonight is win the race, and the only way he's going to pull out the title is if something untoward happens to Damon Huffman, and he knows that.
Hughes, Decker, and Huffman coming up on some lappers. We'll be back after these words.
This is a 1-800-COLLECT call from...
Hey, this is your son, Jeremy. Your son, Jeremy.
funny. I've been eating pretty good. Doug and I were just hanging out.
Cheese. I'm not an actor.
What am I doing? Jeff's doing good. He says to say hi.
Hi, Dad.
Steve says to say hi.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Say what? I think we're going to take it tonight. No, I'd rather have it on your bill than mine. I'm getting ready to go race right now. Mom, guess what? We just won the championship again.
Getting down toward the closing laps of the 125 main with Ryan Hughes, number 22, and 141. Craig Decker in second place, but not far behind the two. Number 20, doing the triple, Damon Huffman.
So fast, so smooth, and so little time left to try and win this race. Oh, right in front of him. Off goes the 141 machine of Decker. He was the second place man. That's a freebie for Damon Huffman.
He keeps his cool, though, gets the banners out of the machinery, and gets back in the race. He's still in fourth spot. Damon Huffman passed him. Pedro Gonzalez passed him. Gonzalez, number 86. So Decker still has a chance for a podium spot as we see number 20 cutting through the action. Ryan Hughes still the leader.
Question now is, can Huffman run down Hughes? I think that'll be tough. Hughes is going pretty fast, but look at the bobble right there.
And it's bobbles like that, Dave, that have allowed Damon Huffman, along with his smooth, fast riding, to pick up about a second and a half a lap.
And maybe, Art, if he could do that every lap, he could get to him, but it's still a pretty substantial advantage. You see the lap traffic in front of Huffman. I think it's going to be very difficult for him to catch the leader.
Huffman coming up on number 58, and that's Brian Deegan, only in his second main event of the year. Huffman with a good charge, and Jerry Bernardo's with his mechanic right now. Let's go down to the pit area.
Gambler, all I can say is the boy's closing in. Can he do it? He's moved in a second. 2 laps to go.
The difficult thing is going to be to pass him once he gets on him. I think he'll. He's got about 2 seconds behind. He might be able to do it. I hope so.
I'd like to see him do it too. Good luck, anyhow.
Thank you.
Sounds like Jerry has a vested interest in this race. Pedro Gonzalez, number 86, and number 141 is Decker, trying to get back onto the podium now. Good luck,
Make it, isn't he? Yeah, he took Pedro right up to the bales and said, I need that spot pretty bad.
We've got ourselves a race, though, for the lead, and not much time remaining. Ryan Hughes, our leader on the final lap, but number 20 is right there.
Well, this will be the test of cool for Hughes. He's leading the race because he stayed cool. Now he's going to get all the pressure in the world.
In the whoop section, Huffman has been so smooth going and fast through these whoops. Ryan Hughes, though, takes the favorite line. Huffman's mechanic getting excited. We've got a race on our hands, a great one. Wheel to wheel. Can Huffman take him on the inside? No, Hughes takes it back again on the outside. And James Dobb helping him out a little bit. They're teammates.
Dobbs had a terrific race, by the way, from 20th to 5th, but he's a lap down. Here's the story.
Oh, my goodness. Hughes took the lead back again, and Huffman slides out right in front of the mechanics area.
Spun her out trying to make the pass, give the kid all the credit in the world. He ends up on the ground, but he ended up on the ground trying to win the race. You got to love it.
Ryan Hughes, his second win of the year. Damon Huffman taking a second place, and the mechanics tell the story. They're right next to each other. And, of course, Ryan Hughes' mechanic jumping for joy as Huffman picks himself up for second place.
Give all the credit in the world to Ryan Hughes. He earned this victory tonight. He was not the fastest man on the racetrack. That honor goes to Damon Huffman, but he is first to the checkered flag, and that, after all, is the reason they came here tonight.
2 wins, a third and a fourth on the year for Hughes. 2 wins for Huffman, but he's got 2 second-place finishes and 2 third-place finishes. It was a couple of races that Ryan Hughes did not perform real well on that might have made this a terrific points chase going into the final 2 events of the year in San Jose and Las Vegas for the 125 Western Crown.
Well, boy, Huffman is everybody's hero tonight. That second-place finish, very impressive. Decker, Gonzalez, and how about Dobb? He ended up 5th. Good ride.
Dobb, a tremendous race. You pointed out earlier, came all the way from 20th. for his 4th top 5 performance. Let's go to Jerry.
All right, Rhino, excellent race. Nice charge. You were dicing with Decker early, but you stayed out front, and then you had the late afternoon charge from Huffman. How was it?
Yeah, I got behind Decker, and I just tried getting a pace going, and I knew that I had a couple faster lines out there, so I just waited until he made a mistake, or I got a better line, and I did, and started riding smooth, just riding my own race, and, you know, I got my own pace going. Huffman was going a little faster. He caught me, but I held him off, and, you know, I'm just happy with my second win this year.
We saw the pit board from Chad over there. They said Huffman's coming. You knew he was coming, but you still felt you had it in you to take the win?
Yeah, I just rode my own race out there. You know, I knew he was coming. I didn't want to speed it up anymore. It's a little bit hard to pass out there, but, you know, I stuck to my lines, and he couldn't get around me. So I just tried making a smooth ride, and it came out with me on top.
The win moving Ryan to within 3 points of second place behind Decker. Huffman, though, dominates with a 40-point lead. Let's go back to Jerry.
Okay, Damon, obviously a little bit disappointed. You crawled up right on Rhino's butt near the end of the race. Tell us about that last couple of laps.
Well, you know, I came from a long ways down, like more than a straightaway, which first lap I came around, Tony had 10 seconds on my pit board that I was down by. And so once I got in the third, I rode hard. I took a few chances, but, you know, they didn't cost me or nothing. And got Decker, he made a mistake. I went by him and caught right up to Hughes. And I tried everything, and I don't know, I just pushed it a little too much coming through the sweeper, you know, but I was going to try swooping on the outside. That's the only thing I could do. And I don't know, the track's really loose, and I just watched out there.
Well, it was that famous lap last, do or die effort as far as I'm concerned. Would you agree?
Exactly. You know, I was just letting it all hang out, and, you know, I just pushed it that much too far. And, you know, it cost him, but I still finished second, but, you know, it's not first.
All right. Good ride anyhow. Thanks.
Thank you.
Not only an outstanding talent, but also a great competitor, Damon Huffman, as Ryan Hughes wins this one. Next, the Superstars in 250. Would this be the night that Jeremy McGrath wins his second consecutive Supercross title? All he has to do is finish in front of Mike Kudrowski and Mike LaRocco as he goes toward the gate. Number 34, Jimmy Button, coming out of the 125 ranks right next to him. Here's the point standings going into it. As you see, McGrath leading LaRocco and Kudrowski. Jeff Stanton not participating here this evening.
So if you're the Honda team manager, all right, what do? Do you tell McGrath to go out there and try to win the race and clinch the championship, or do you say, Jeremy, 3 races left, stay cool, buddy, stay healthy, stay in one piece?
Sentimental favorite, you saw him, number 11, Larry Ward, returning to his native area in the stadium that he won his lone Supercross victory.
Boy, what a night that was back in 1990. They about blew the concrete roof off this place when Larry Ward won in the Kingdom.
Okay, we're set. Looking behind Ward. We get the dirt spit in our face. Lamson pulls out of the middle. Jeremy alongside one of his best starts of the year. Jeremy McGrath, the whole shot.
Hey, you get that Yamaha Michael Craig on the sidelines, and a Honda can win the race to the first turn. Jeremy's going for it. He wants the win. He wants the record. He wants the championship. He wants the whole enchilada.
You're right, Dave. It's only the third race of the year. Yamaha hasn't gotten the whole shot. It's Jeremy's second of the season. Lamson behind him. And then Denny Stevenson, a good start.
It's a great start for Stevenson. He's right up there in the middle of the fast guys. The pressure will be on him. Kudrowski, number 3, knows that to keep his championship alive, he's got to get up there and race with Jeremy. The last couple of races, he's run him down, and it looks like he's stuck with that task again tonight.
Kudrowski, number 3, Emig, number 6, behind Kudrowski, and then Larry Ward in good position as well.
And no sign of Mike LaRocco. Here he is. What is that, 7th, 8th? Another bad start for LaRocco. Another catch-up night for him. Whoa, Emig's off the road.
That gives LaRocco the opportunity to slip in front of Emig. Jimmy Button, 34, and he wants to show the big guys what he's all about.
Jimmy's giving that thing a good ride, too. Number 34 up inside the top 10. If he just follows LaRocco, he can learn some things. He said, hey, I didn't come to follow people. I came to pass people.
A good wheel-to-wheel battle. Jimmy Button, number 34, and Mike LaRocco, number 7. LaRocco probably thinking, hey, kid, get back to the 125s.
Yeah, you saw there. Button had a notion to stuff it on the inside, and I think that he said, wait a minute, this is LaRocco. I'm not going to stuff LaRocco.
Mike LaRocco, in case you tuned in late, had a crash in the qualifying heat. He was kind of lucky, I think, to get up unscathed physically. Ward putting the pressure on Stevenson as we go back to LaRocco and Button in the whoops.
Well, we talked about the need for Kedrowski to get up there and race with the leader, Jeremy McGrath. Same story for LaRocco. Remember, he was only 1 point behind Kedrowski in the standings. He's got to get to the front to keep alive his title hopes.
Lamson in second. Jeremy McGrath about a 2-second lead. Kedrowski third. Stevenson fourth. And Ward in 5th place now.
Stevenson's making a lot of mistakes. Ward is going to try to capitalize on this one. But I give Denny credit. When you run in the top 5 in this league, you're in very fast company. He needs to settle down, smooth out, hang on to positions. He could run top 5 tonight.
Ward looking very sharp and smooth on this track. A hometown hero would love to take his 2nd Supercross victory out of this stadium.
Well, the fans really remember him around here, even though he now lives in South Carolina. He's still a homeboy to the folks in Seattle.
Mike LaRocco's turn to challenge Denny Stevenson now.
This will be tough for Stevenson. This will be the real test. As we said, he's been making some mistakes. Once he knows it's LaRocco back there, he'll be a bit intimidated by that. LaRocco's a little like Dale Earnhardt. He's the kind of guy that when you see him in your mirrors, you think, gee, I wonder what's going to happen next.
Ward, Stevenson, LaRocco, and Jimmy Button, number 34.
This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th. I think that's a credit to Button and also to Stevenson.
Jeremy McGrath with a good lead, but he's been unable to really pull away, and we'll be back with more in a moment. Back to the 250 main in the Seattle Kingdom, our leader, Jeremy McGrath. He might have been inspired by his teammate Doug Henry in that qualifying heat.
Now, Henry certainly got him pumped up. McGrath doesn't want to see that happen again. Kedrowski is the guy who's charging. He is trying to reel in the leader, but he's still got traffic to deal with.
Lamson, number 4. Kedrowski, number 3, in 2nd and 3rd. Ward has moved up to 4th. Denny Stevenson has gone off the track, meanwhile, taking some banners with him as Kedrowski breezes by the hay bale there.
He's using up every bit of the racetrack, isn't he, Art? We ought to make the point, too, that Doug Henry, who beat McGrath in that heat race, got tangled up in the first turn and started 20th. What a bummer after having that great moment of glory.
He had a lot of problems trying to get his bike restarted back in the race after his complications. LaRocco in the hunt for 4th behind Larry Ward as we go back to Kedrowski versus Lamson.
Kedrowski's got to get around Lamson, or this championship is history. And Steve's doing a good job. You know, again, he's carrying the responsibility with Jeff Stanton on the sidelines, and he's risen to the occasion here. Kedrowski can't get around him.
Lamson has been consistent this year, but has had some mixed results, some bad luck, and some crashes that have prevented him from moving up the points ladder.
Good move there. He was offline a little bit, brought it back down, got the traction before. Kedrowski held on to the spot. Who passed? Maybe? I don't think so.
Ward got it right back again. That's a great battle there. LaRocco finally gets by Ward, seals it off, and moves into 4th.
When Ward had LaRocco on the outside, he didn't let off. He held his line into the corner. Once LaRocco got the inside, Ward had no choice but surrender.
Kedrowski getting close, looking for an opportunity now versus Lamson. You see Denny Stevenson putt-putting along there after going off the track.
That's too bad. I thought Stevenson could run top 5 tonight. He just couldn't quite keep it together. Now Kedrowski's got to force the issue. He's got to put the pressure on. He's out of time.
Whoop section, 2 different lines. You can see this. Kedrowski, a little bit of trouble. Could not gain some time coming out of the whoops especially.
The trick of that section is to be able to cut across from one line to the other. You can make a pass at the end of that straightaway, right at the entrance to the corner.
if you can change your line and go from one groove to the other. But
whoa, Lamson goes wide. Kedrowski cuts to the inside. It's wheel to wheel now. Let's see who comes out of this whoop section. That's just what you said, Dave. He cut across there to seal him off.
Kedrowski feeling the pressure. He had to get it done because with every lap, McGrath is getting further away. You don't want to be parked behind his teammate there. You got to get around Lamson, get going to the front.
And out in front, Jeremy McGrath, who's already set all kinds of records. His family looking on, of course, hoping he can nail down his second consecutive championship here tonight.
Dad's got the stopwatch running in his head, measuring the interval there, Art. Back to the second place man, Kedrowski, and that interval spells championship. Look out, here comes LaRocco.
LaRocco taking on Steve Lamson next. He wants third. And out of the whoops, let's see if he can do it with the speed. Lamson tried to cut him off. Some great racing. LaRocco is quick, but Lamson is a tremendous competitor.
Handlebar to handlebar, great racing in Supercross, a great race track when you get through lines like that. LaRocco had the best one.
LaRocco moves into third behind Kedrowski. Out in front, Jeremy McGrath. He hasn't lost many leads this year. We'll be back with more from the Kingdome in a moment. McGrath, the leader, but Kedrowski is cutting off a second per lap. Let's go down and listen to his mechanic, Skip Norfolk, with Jerry.
We got about 6 more laps to go, and we got a championship under our belt. You just rode up pace.
Yeah, Jeremy got into lappers. I thought he rode a little conservative. Mike's letting it all hang out. He's picking up time on him. We got some open ground now. Hopefully Jeremy can get his race back going again, and we got 5 laps to go.
It ain't over till it's over, but I see a little smile in there.
Well, we got 5 laps. He won't let what happened a week ago happen again.
All right.
Well, it looks like the stage is being set for another last week.
Last week, of course, was Dallas when Kedrowski caught McGrath from behind, and they crashed together on the last turn of the last lap. That's what he doesn't want to see happen again.
We've got word from the pits, Dave, that Ward's having problems with the rear tire. It's going flat or is flat.
Looks like it could. They put extra rim locks on the tires. There's just a lot of junk in the racetrack. Rocks and things that are coming up to the surface. Everybody anticipated tire problems, and apparently Ward has encountered one.
Ward holding on to 5th as Jeremy McGrath out in front, going by the mechanics area right now. He's slowed down a bit, or Kedrowski has just simply picked it up, because Kedrowski's been knocking a second or a second and a half off every lap.
He's reeling him in very impressively. Kedrowski has a rhythm, and this is the second week in a row that we have not seen Jeremy up the ante. A lot of people believe it's harder to lead a race than it is to run second, because the leader has to define the pace. And maybe you look for tiny little things in his incredible season of McGrath's to criticize, but maybe that's one of them. He doesn't hold the pace up. Kedrowski, on the other hand, has been charging since Orlando. He got a bad start in the very first race of the year, and he's been running wide open ever since.
He's closed the gap now to only 3 seconds and shaves it off with every lap. Good smooth riding by Kedrowski. Here's Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy, a little bit short.
He's got a flat tire.
That's right. He pointed down to the rear tire. It is getting flat. Kedrowski's got a shot at it.
Well, this could turn the championship right here. McGrath had the opportunity to clinch it. All he had to do was finish in front of Kedrowski. I don't see how in the world he can do that with a flat sack.
Mike Kedrowski holding on by his fingertips right now as far as the points race is concerned. And he makes the easy move on Jeremy McGrath. McGrath, all he can do is try to stay upright right now.
Yeah, he's not worried about Kedrowski. He knows he can't beat Kedrowski with a flat tire. He just wants to keep the motorcycle upright. You see the disappointment in the Honda cam.
Well, stranger things have happened as LaRocco now tries to get by Jeremy.
Yeah, LaRocco should do this pretty easily. There it is. He triples. Jeremy can't do the triple now because of the flat tire. So that'll drop McGrath to 3rd. And precisely what the Kawasaki needed, the Kawasaki team needed to have happen, has happened. Kedrowski beats McGrath.
and LaRocco beats McGrath, and that extends the championship for another week.
Kedrowski now just has to avoid all the rocks in this final lap.
Yeah, you know, you have to think, you mentioned during the break, Art, about Damon Bradshaw losing the championship a couple of years ago under similar circumstances. McGrath wanted to clinch tonight because there are 2 outdoor nationals between now and the next round of the Supercross. He wanted to get it over with because what happened to Damon Bradshaw a couple of years ago was he went to one of those nationals and got hurt and ended up losing the championship to Jeff Stanton. There's always that risk until those points are put away.
Kedrowski with 4 second places on the year, the 1 win in Daytona, to move back into second place in the point standings behind Jeremy McGrath with this victory.
Yep, making 2 wins on the year after this one. You know, this guy hadn't won very many Supercross races, but he sure is consistent.
It's got to be very disappointing for number 1, Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah, you know, he tends to take things as they fall, though. I don't think he'll let this flat tire bum him out too much. He certainly wanted to win the race. I'll tell you what I think he's disappointed about is that record got away tonight. He can now tie the record, but he can't break the record. And regardless of what he told Jerry earlier, I think that's a big disappointment for him.
And I think you're right, Dave. I think he wanted that record badly. But right now, Lady Luck plays a big part in racing. And Jeremy McGrath, as you saw the flat tire, takes his goggles off. He'll be on the podium, however, in 3rd place. Kedrowski, LaRocco, McGrath, Lamson, Ward holding on to 5th despite a flat tire himself. Emigan 6th, Henry all the way from 20th to 7th place, and an impressive finish for the young Jimmy Buck.
Okay, Jeremy, a little disappointment. What we refer to as kind of a sucky way to finish out tonight. You got a flat.
Yeah, about 2 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go. I got a flat, and, you know, tough luck. I couldn't do nothing with it. I knew that Mike was coming. He was coming on strong. I was pacing myself on, you know, the way I look at it, he got pretty lucky.
Okay, so next time or what?
Well, he was gaining on me. He's getting stronger. I mean, too bad that he puts in such good rides at the end of the season. But, you know, he was gaining on me. I got to give him that. But we'll see what happens next week.
So tell us the truth. I mean, obviously you're a little disappointed, but let's hear it, the real truth, how you feel.
Well, actually, I'm still happy to get 3rd, you know. I mean, it's disappointing because I should have won. There's no reason I shouldn't have won, but first mechanical failure I think I've had in a long time. Basically, since I've been with Skip, so knock on wood, we won't have any more.
So you weren't counting your chickens, you just wanted to win tonight, and if the championship came with the victory, that was great.
Well, it was definitely going to come with a victory, you know. I was after those 2 laps, I was just sliding around out there. But, you know, it's no one's fault. It's just the track's really rocky, and just got a flat.
All right, thanks, Jeremy.
Okay, thanks.
Jeremy still, though, with 46 points to his advantage with 2 events left. Mike Kedrowski moving into 2nd in the points race.
Let's hear it from your point of view. You won tonight.
Hey, all I got to say is it's the Kawasaki and the Bridgestone tires. I picked the right tires tonight. And, you know, my bike worked great. You know, I had a good pace going and just kept that pace the whole time. And, you know, just hung right in there, you know. I guess Jeremy got a flat, but, you know, using Bridgestone tires, flats you don't get.
I was going to say earlier, I didn't want to curse you, but Shane predicted you were going to win. What do you think about that?
Yeah, today, this morning, when we came out to the track and we got done with practice, he said you were fast enough today to win, and you looked like you did when you were at Daytona. So,
all right. Congratulations, Mike.
Thanks.
So put the $100,000 bonus money back in the bank. We'll wait for another one now in San Jose.
About 15 pounds of air pressure is all Jeremy needed to win the championship. Now he's got to wait 3 weeks to get the check that's his.
Art Ekman along with Dave Despain and Jerry Bernardo from the Seattle Kingdom will be coming to you next from San Jose, California. So long, everyone.